Good afternoon, all. I'm Krishna Mukherjee from ETH. It's a pleasure to welcome you all to this live webinar, Supercharging Enterprise Asset Management with IoT and AI. This webinar is brought to you by the Economic Times Edge, powered by IBM. Today's rapid changing era calls for supercharging your asset performance to balance efficiency and innovation. Thanks to IoT and AI, which are taking enterprise asset management to new heights and prompting us to eye solutions that help accelerate productivity of our current assets. As equipment becomes more sophisticated, new tools and processes will be required to maximize their performance and value. The challenge is to use IoT data and AI effectively to manage the assets, predict failure, extend asset life cycles, and improve worker safety are pervasive across industries. Ladies and gentlemen, to discover more about effective asset performance management, we have with us today Mr. Vinod K. Bogarapu, Senior Business Manager, Watson IoT IBM, and Mr. Pankaj Jain, Senior Technical Manager, Watson IoT IBM. Thank you, Vinod, and thank you, Pankaj, for joining us. Let me hand it over to Vinod first. Also, I would request you all to be please present till the end of the webinar and answer the feedback form. Also visit webinar website for detailed terms and conditions. Over to you, Vinod.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Just a minute. Somebody is in. I'm not able to switch.
Vinod, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, great. Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Vinod. To start with, I would like to point few highlighters from various research studies conducted by the maintenance analysts and research companies across the globe, where companies operating on a reactive maintenance strategy typically see a 70% efficiency. But many best-in-class organizations have already shifted to the predictive maintenance approach. And as a result, their efficiency ranges between 90 to 95%. When we talk about the efficiency 90 to 95%, we are not just talking about the uptime or available time of the equipment. We are talking about the overall efficiency of the machine, the quality output of the machine. So we are considering everything and talking about that 90-95% efficiency. And there is one more analyst who conducted a thorough research in the space and understood that industries have been very conservative in its approach to setting up a preventive maintenance intervals. So he estimates that anywhere between 80 to 30% of every dollar spent on maintenance money is wasted or rather unwanted, I would say. And along with an industry week, there is another research which has been conducted where it points out almost around $50 billion annually the manufacturing industry loses because of the downtime, and out of which 42% is attributable to equipment failure of this unplanned downtime. So that is one set of statistics which are coming in even for the highly mature organizations. And they also identified that 82% of the failures are random in nature, and 18% are related to the age-related stuff. So 82% of the failures are something which can be addressed by the organizations by adopting the right maintenance strategies. And there is another interesting research conducted by US Department of Energy, where they say if you have an optimized maintenance workload, where you can reduce the preventive maintenance hours around 50 to 70%, which is a huge number which we are talking about. So there are substantial savings which organizations can look at when they adopt right asset performance management strategy. And with the advent of IoT and the computing power which is available, a lot of industries are trying to capture as much of the data as possible. But in certain segments, we see 99% of the data which is collected from PLCs, sensors, or SCADAs goes waste, which is not required or which need not be tapped. So these are some interesting insights which we we collated from various researches which are conducted in last 3 to 4 years, right? So having said that, so quite commonly we hear that, okay, this year we are going to cut the maintenance budget by X percentage because company wants to improve margin, or they want to put in a new strategy, they want to do some restructuring activity. So cutting costs, yes, is an action with an intention, could be anything. Predominantly it will lead to better margins. But at the same time, when you implement that particular decision, the decision should be backed with the right insight or a right data where people can take right decisions. So if you cut costs on the maintenance side without a proper insight into the data, then it will lead to the unplanned downtime, and also you feel shortage of the spares and spare parts, and you'll end up in paying labor or overtime, or you have retention issues, or you may have safety issues, right? So cutting the costs in a right way is very critical. And at the same time, based on the previous year performance, organizations may tend to spend more on the maintenance because there is downtime, there is a production loss, or there are certain incidents which have happened. To decrease the risk, so they'll end up in doing the over maintenance or excess spare part inventory. The cost is going to be very high. So it's where the balanced approach, which is very important for an organization to take that balanced approach, having the right systems in place becomes very critical, because the decision is based on the data. It should be a data-driven decision rather than a hunch or an experience of a person. We respect the experience of the person, but at the same time, it is always better to take a decision with right insights. So that's the key. Sorry. And moving to the next slide, now I think IoT is no longer a novelty, right? It is 3-4 years back, people had doubts about IoT, the role of IoT can play. But in last 3-4 years, the development of technologies and the capabilities which are inbuilt gave humongous opportunities to the industry. When you digitize or put a sensor to the equipment, where you are able to do the real-time monitoring, just not from the availability, again from the efficiency and the output or a quality perspective. So somebody is getting a real-time insights. And the same information is leveraged for doing a predictive analysis, either from a failure perspective or a possible quality-related issue which is going to come up in the floor, or it could be an efficiency issue, sorry. Right? And the next level, there are people who have adopted this IoT technology and started deploying the edge capabilities, which means pattern analysis or trend analysis done on the edge of the machine, even without exchanging the data outside that equipment, right? So where people can do much more can react immediately without any loss of time, right? So that is one set of capabilities which are there within adopting an IoT. And the other one is autonomous driver, which you have seen in automobile industry, where it went to the next level, where the vehicles are controlled by the sensors or the devices or the software programming with a lesser intervention of human being. And then some industries adopt digital twin technology, where they would like to look at the asset from a holistic perspective, that the true picture of an asset, right? And there are some industries, or when you talk about digitizing the shop floor, adopting the right strategy is very critical. So shop floor digitization is another key initiative which is gaining momentum with the development of technology or an IoT adoption increasing in the shop floor. Right, all of these initiatives result in reducing the operational cost as well as improving the uptime and availability of the machine. And let us also understand what are the key trends which are there in the AM market today. One, IoT, we've talked about it, how IoT is adopted in the shop floor or in the maintenance related activities. The other thing is the mobility, which is the digitization journey, because if you really look at it, mobility becomes a very critical part in the maintenance, because typically what happens is the maintenance engineers are given a log sheets or a log books or worksheets for them to perform the work. They do the work and come back and update in the system, right? But if if the mobile devices are given to the maintenance engineers, they can capture the information more accurately than in there itself. There is no loss of information, and the right data is available. So mobility, adopting mobility solutions has become a trend now in the last 2-3 years, right? And the blockchain is becoming very critical because a lot of people would like to ensure that the genuine parts are leveraged in the assets and would like to trace back the origin of the spare part and how it has traveled, and complete transparency which is required. So people are leveraging the blockchain capability from the asset management perspective. And people are also looking at more of SaaS-based solutions because that gives moving from CapEx to OpEx, and also have substantial savings from maintaining the systems. So a lot of customers moving from on-prem asset management solutions to SaaS, cloud-based asset management solutions. And with machine learning and AI capabilities developing and artificial intelligence, which is predominantly adopted in multiple areas, the asset management side also people started leveraging the predictive analytics, prescriptive, descriptive, and AI-enabled technologies in the maintenance process. So these are the few trends which we are seeing. Already IoT and mobility SaaS are quite matured for last 2-3 years. Predictive analytics, a lot of organizations have adopted for certain class of assets, not for everything. Blockchain is still in the first year of adoption from the maintenance perspective. So these are the 5 key trends which we see it in the market. So today the organizations need to look at the asset performance management in much more holistic way, right? When you look at asset performance management, one will plan how you would plan for a maintenance strategy. And then for certain class of assets, you try to look at the health of assets in more real time, understand their performance over a period of lifetime. How can you enhance their life, or how can you make it available uninterruptedly throughout its lifetime? So for certain class of assets, you would like to have a real-time health insights. And for certain class of assets, depending on the criticality of that particular asset in the whole process, you would like to look at predict when an asset is going to go down, so that you can take an appropriate intervention measures to avoid the particular failure or unplanned downtime, right? And with the development of AI technologies, people are looking at more of an assistant. So there are solutions in the market where the maintenance engineers can interact with the systems in the natural language. What could be the best fit to the current problem by leveraging the previous maintenance work orders or manuals or videos provided by the original equipment vendors. So looking at all these things, what is the best action which can be taken in the given scenario, right? That substantially reduces mean time to repair. When a maintenance engineer can reduce the repair time, so that ultimately adds up to the uptime of the equipment. So people need to look at a little more holistically. It is not just a transaction, or it is just not the preventive maintenance. It is much more, and there are capabilities and there are solutions available in the market to adopt this comprehensive strategy. All right. So now I would like to hand over it to Pankaj to see how a journey can be created for any organization in the asset performance management space. Over to you, Pankaj.
Thanks, Vinod. So in continuation of that, what Vinod has covered so far, it's kind of a paradigm shift, right? From looking at maintenance as an expense to maintenance as an investment. And if you look at this, the asset management maturity curve, where organizations are moving from calendar-based maintenance or periodic maintenance, which can be time-based or meter-based, to usage-based maintenance, to condition-based, predictive, prescriptive, and cognitive-based maintenance. What it really brings to the organization is the higher performance, higher degree of reliability as the assets are getting aged over the period, right? So, and this is kind of a journey, right? It's not that when you start condition monitoring, the calendar-based maintenance gets redundant. It's just the way to optimize the maintenance schedules, maintenance plans, and how IoT can help, how the AI can help to optimize. That's what we would like to cover. We will be covering in this session. Just one more slide to understand this journey, asset APM journey or asset performance management journey, which starts with first and foremost is have the right foundation, have the right platform, which can help to take you all the way to the condition based, to APM, to predictive maintenance, right? The first is have the visibility first. Visibility in the sense information about every single asset where you have the business interest. Tracking it to the required level of details, assemblies, sub-assemblies, spare parts, consumable, right? Depending upon to what level makes the right business sense. Getting the IoT data that will help to kind of monitor those assets in real time, bring have some kind of the asset health, so that you are able to manage your assets through exception, right? You define certain business rules, and then tool can help you to focus on those assets where reliability is a concern, where you really need to focus on, right? And then making use of that data for predictive analytics and then prescriptive repair. So with this, what IBM has here to offer you is IBM Maximo Asset Management, which has been in the market for several decades, 32 plus years in the market. What it brings to the table, the core capabilities around the work and asset management. The first and foremost, where you are defining your all asset classes, whether it's production assets, facility assets, IT assets, fleet assets, above ground assets, below ground assets, a variety of asset classes to the required level of assembly, sub-assembly, defining the maintenance policies, what are the recommendations that OEM has given you to maintain it, then the processes around it, how do you maintain those assets at optimum performance, right? Hand in hand, what is required is the supply chain functions, because if asset is down, you require materials, you require the tools, you require the right skilled people to fix the problem, right? And that's where the inventory management and procurement plus contract management comes into consideration. Another key area that Maximo brings is around the health and safety. Typically, health and safety is seen as like a third eye apart from maintenance and operations or engineering. But if you look at health and safety, goes hand in hand with the production processes, maintenance processes, engineering processes, right? You secure your permits before you take up some maintenance on the critical equipment, right? So full-fledged set of functionalities are offered as part of the health and safety. The next key area is planning and scheduling, where you may be looking at short-term planning, long-term planning things. The planners and schedulers at the plant level, they need to optimize their resource. They have to look at what they have in hand. Typically, the outages or shutdowns are planned well ahead well in advance, and IBM Maximo brings the planning and scheduling capabilities. Inbuilt mobility, which helps the technicians and supervisor to access the system through the mobile devices while they are on move. They can fill in, they can key in the actuals, they can do the failure reporting right at the time of the work. The IoT has been helping to bring the real-time insight, the real-time information about different parameters. For example, if lathe functioning on a shop floor, what are the variables? What are those critical parameters that is of your concerns? If certain thresholds goes beyond the defined limits, or some parameters goes beyond the threshold, system can trigger the corrective actions, generate the work orders, or maybe send out an alert to the business user. Last but not the least is the analytics. That inbuilt capabilities to get the failure reporting done, the fracas report generated, and giving more control to the business users, allowing them to define their KPIs and KRAs on their dashboards without really depending on the IT organization to do it. The other key important thing is the coexist of the Maximo with, on left side you see the financial system, the word of ERPs, the CRM, the HR system, the integration, pre-built integration capabilities with the corporate system, and on the right side you see the integration capabilities with the technical systems. Technical systems, the word of the SCADAs, the PLCs, document management, engineering systems. And this is what Maximo brings to the table for our customers. And this is for different roles in the organization, right from the planners and schedulers who are concerned about short-term and long-term planning of the maintenance activities. They may want to do, they may want to manage their day-to-day activities, how they can bring their all work orders and tasks on a Gantt chart, review the things, how they can perform the CPM, define the critical path, do the resource planning, resource leveling, capacity planning kind of activities, with more of drag and drop kind of options available for planners. They can also do long-term planning when typically the outages or when shutdowns are planned within the Maximo. The tool helps for the field technicians who can fill out the actuals, who can do the failure reporting right at the time of work. Safety officers who are more concerned about how the lotto part is managed or PTW is managed, or safety regulations have been managed in the system, right, around the work. Also the persona for like the reliability engineer, someone who is looking the long-term health of the asset, someone who is not an operator, but someone who is concerned whether should this asset last for 10 years, 20 years, or can it last for 2 more years? Or if you continue for 2 more years, what is the risk you are carrying? Or how do you assess the health of the asset? That's kind of the reliability engineer personas are being offered as part of this solution, as well as different roles of the purchase managers who can have a complete view of the supply chain functions, the safety stock, because the inventory which are being carried by most of the organizations, sort of a liability, right? You are carrying certain things in your stock. But how do you get to the optimum level of your spares and consumable and this inventory in the things? Different roles from the compliance manager's point of view, IT manager point of view. So the entire product suite brings the capability around work management, asset management, where you are able to define the complex hierarchies of the asset, because this is the first and foremost, the fundamental point before you onboard the journey to the IoT or AI, to have the right foundation, to have the right way of the asset hierarchies defined, to have the maintenance policies defined, right? Job plan defined, safety plan defined, right? If you have your basics wrong, if you have your basics weak, very likely that you may held up at some or other stage in this journey of reliability engineering and RCM or the APM side. That is what Maximo is helping across the industry to many of our customers. As you see, over 6,000 plus customers across the globe using IBM Maximo. Customer from different industries, from manufacturing, from transportation, oil and gas, utilities, heavy engineering, several service providers, OEMs, IT-enabled services, a variety of the customers who are using IBM Maximo. As you see some of the numbers here, 7 out of the 10 major aerospace and defense organization, large airports, 200 plus metros and rails, different manufacturing customer from pharmaceuticals to automobile manufacturers to paper and pulp, and many industries, those who are asset intensive, someone who is concerned about their assets, someone who is concerned about the long-term health of the assets. They have been using IBM Maximo. And I just want to quote here that more than 70% of the customers, they do have their ERP solution in place, either the word of SAP or Oracle or maybe any other major ERP solution. But when it comes to managing the assets, they rely on IBM Maximo because it provides the ease of use, the functional depth when it comes to the asset and work management functions. So some of the offering I just want to highlight here is while the basic Maximo brings the work and asset management capabilities, supply chain function, planning, scheduling, we are heading towards how we can make use of the IoT data, how we can make use of the AI, the machine learning, and that is where we have the one of the new offering called Maximo APM Asset Health Insight. What it really brings is here we are bringing the real-time information while through from the sensors and meters and the SCADA systems. We are bringing the informations. As you can see on the slide, there is a meter reading which is keep coming into in consideration. And what we are doing here is a reliability engineering. Now, one of the very basic fundamental of the reliability engineering is the pick up the assets which are maybe high value assets or where the reliability is a concern, right? How business defines the health of the asset? It can be based on 5 different parameters or 10 different parameters. We call them drivers, the health drivers. Now, as you can see on the slide, there are 4. Just for an example, we have defined 4 health drivers. Each of the health driver, it can be as simple as the cost, or the condition of the asset, or the life of the asset, or maybe it may be depending upon some of the operating parameter. For example, you may be measuring the temperature, pressure, vibration, and all other kind of the operational parameter of the asset, and those parameters may have an impact on the overall health of the asset. So within this offering, we calculate the drivers for the green, red kind of the things that you can see. Where business can define the threshold, whether to say 90% good or 90% as a bad, right? And giving them individual weightages to each of the drivers, and cumulative score can be seen as, like, for example, here you see for one of the pump as 66%, right? What it is also bringing is the external factors like the weather conditions, because quite possible this pump functioning in the closed wall or a much similar kind of machine functioning outside may have a complete life cycle because of the external factors that they face, right? Depending on the weather condition, depending upon the level of corrosion happening, or maybe depending upon which kind of asset or asset class we are looking. Business can define these drivers and have the cumulative score on their dashboards. What it really helps is to as the assets are getting aged, and when you as an asset custodian and asset owner are concerned, should you continue with this asset, or is it the time to retire the asset, right? How do you do this analysis? How do you take this business decision objectively? And Maximo APM exactly helps you to do that. Apart from that, it also helps you to optimize the maintenance policies, maintenance procedures. You may be doing regular policies remains the same, right? Now, how do you differentiate the maintenance policies when the asset is new versus when the asset is getting aged, right? Irrespective, even though they are of the same asset class, but based on their the physical condition, based on their the health of the asset, you need to have the capabilities where you can optimize, you can have very specific maintenance policies defined for respective asset. So this is one of the offering on top of the IBM Maximo, making use of the IoT data, making the dashboards available for our business users, and which can help them to take the decision whether to continue repair or is it time to replace, right? If they have to replace, obviously they have to make the capital replacement planning and decisions, right? They have to do the budgeting. They have to ensure that they have the right budget secured for the asset replacement. Or otherwise, if they need to continue with the same asset, they should be calculating the risk very objectively. What is the risk they are carrying? What should be the optimized maintenance policies and other aspects, right? And so this is one of the offering that we have on top of Maximo APM. Next one, I want to move on to the predict part. To some extent, the prediction can be two sides. Okay, prediction can be some prediction can be the formula-based predictions, where I know that the kind of corrosion is happening or the kind of operating parameters are changing. Say, for example, the vibrations are changing with this pace. If this trend continues, I know I'm going to hit the boundary conditions. I'm going to hit the threshold conditions in by so and so date. So what you see on the screen right now is along with the asset health, you also the system helps you to bring the information that what's the next possible date when this particular asset may likely to get failed, right? Anomalies. So what we bring here is and second part is, one is the formula-based prediction, and second is making use of the advanced statistical algorithms to do the modeling, trending, and determining what could possible what are the possible trends here. So as part of this offering, APM Predict, we bring multiple templates, making use of the deep learnings algorithms. Different predictive models that are being offered as part of this offering. What it brings is the based on the failure history, based on the historical data, based on the current parameters of the asset health, it helps to determine. It brings the additional insight, and that, for example, on the screen you see the predicted failure date has come as, say, 8th March, whereas as per the periodic maintenance, you know that the next maintenance was due on 22nd May. Now, if you have this kind of insight coming from the system, it's really an opportunity to look back at your maintenance schedule, because based on the predictions, based on the prediction date, the failure date is coming well before the next maintenance, and there's no point of doing maintenance after the asset gets into the risk, right? So different business benefits that an organization can look at: reduce the failures, reduce maintenance cost, improving the asset utilization. You need not to really go and repair based on the time based or meter based, because many times if periodic maintenance says that go and check the filter valve regulator after every, say, 3 months, quite possible that you may be running into the risk of asset failure, or sometimes you may be doing the over maintenance when possibly the maintenance isn't required, right? So this is another area. The third area what we have to offer here is the APM Assist. Now, technicians are out in the field. Typically, they rely on the job card, on the work orders, or the task procedures those are being given to them as part of the work orders, right? This offering is more of the artificial intelligence as AI based offering. There are self-learning algorithms inbuilt in this, which can which can scan through the information available through the OEM manuals or maintenance policies, procedures. It builds a knowledge repository and make this knowledge repository available to the business user, to the field technician when they need it. They can interact in the natural languages, as Vinod mentioned. They can query, they can, and system can bring the possible solutions available to them with a confidence score. So as you see, there's some search is being done, and then system reverts with the possible options with a confidence score. As you use this, as the business continue to use the system, the confidence score maturity increases, and this offering helps organization to really improve the first time fix rate by 20-25%. It helps to reduce the mean time to repair by 10-15%. So some of the data statistics available, because you are not only providing the static task list, you are not providing the static repository, rather you are giving access to a dynamic, more agile kind of the knowledge base to your workers while they are functioning at the shop floor, or they are functioning in the field, right? And this offering takes the asset management, and it's also taking the inputs from the field technicians, from the supervisors, and putting it back in the knowledge repository, so that next time if similar symptoms appears, or if similar cases appears, then the knowledge is readily available for the other co-worker in the organization. So looking at this, just kind of bring it, what we have in the kitty is IBM Maximo is traditionally, we always offered as on-premise solution, but in last 3-4 years, we have observed a lot of SaaS adoption has increased. Organizations are quite open to go for, they want to adopt the cloud-based solutions. They want to move from CapEx-based investment to OpEx-based investment. And that is where we have got the two of the SaaS variants available. We started offering IBM Maximo as a SaaS solution, software as a service, which is more of like pay as you go. And this is good option for our small and medium size organizations who really wants to start small, try it, test it, and then when they are comfortable, they may go for in full blown. Okay, so Maximo Asset Management SaaS and Maximo Asset Management in the public and dedicated, we have both the options available. We also have got the industry flavor of Maximo on top of Maximo. So depending upon your industry, if you are concerned about the assets in oil and gas industry, or if you are concerned about the FDA regulation in life sciences, pharmaceuticals, we have industry specific flavor of Maximo to manage asset complexities and process complexities of the respective industries. As you see, there are 6 industry flavors of Maximo, one for transportation, which we position for fleet operators, large rails, metros, ports, kind of the organization. We have got one for life sciences, specifically designed to comply with the FDA regulation. Deep calibration capabilities are included as part of the Maximo for life sciences. We have solution for Maximo for utilities that helps to manage gas, water, electric utilities, solution around oil and gas, managing the upstream, mid and the downstream T&D side of the business as well. And then Maximo for aviation. Apart from that, we have add-on solutions in our kitty that our customers can pick and choose based on their business need. While this view that you see is, it has been modularized purely from the commercial point of view. Technical point of view, this remains one single solution with one single UI, one single database, one analytics engine, one integration engine. So technically, this is one single solution. From the commercial aspect point of view, we have modularized it. For example, Maximo Scheduler. If you are concerned with planning and scheduling, dispatch, capacity planning, resource leveling, then you can look at Maximo Scheduler. If you are concerned about visualization of assets in connection with the GIS system, you can look at Maximo Spatial. If you want access of Maximo through mobile device, Maximo Anywhere is an option available, which helps you to access the Maximo in connected and disconnected mode through the handheld devices, maybe through mobile or tablet. It supports iOS, Windows, Android, all kind of operating systems. We have a specific offering around health, safety, and environment. As you see, one of the add-on very specifically designed to manage incident management, risk management, improvements, PTW, regulatory compliance, risk metrics. All very deep functionalities are made available as part of the Maximo Health and Safety HSE Manager. We have got Maximo Linear, which is specifically designed to manage the linear assets which are linear in nature, where you may require the dynamic segmentation of your attributes. We have made it available. We have got Maximo Calibration, very specifically designed to do the deep calibration activities, the loop calibration, and all sort of possible calibration that you need. We understand that Maximo as an enterprise asset management solution, end of the day, it needs to shake hand with the ERP solutions. So that's where we have built, we have got ERP adapters ready to integrate with the world of SAP and Oracle. So you can continue your ERP financial functions, procurement, contracts, all other things in ERP. Financials you can use for SAP and Oracle and other as an ERP solution, and Maximo can, this adapter helps you to seamlessly integrate with the ERPs. And three offerings that we just looked at: Maximo APM Asset Health Insight, specifically for the reliability engineering. We have got APM Predictive Insight, and as well as the Equipment Maintenance Assistant. So assist, predict, and the health insight. So this is what we have in Kitty. I just want to reiterate that this modularity we have kind of broken down in the functional blocks so that you have choice to pick and choose the component of your business need. You need not to end up pay for everything when you really want to use, say, only the core solution Maximo, or maybe Maximo plus say Maximo Anywhere, right? So that is the reason of modularizing it from the commercial point of view. Technically, this is one single solution with one single DB, one analytics engine, one integration engine, absolutely one UI. So this is what we have from Maximo point of view. Maximo, as I said, 6,000 plus customers across the globe. It has been the market leader over the last several decades. In the report of ARC, IDC, and Gartner's, it has been well ahead from the competition. This is another leading analyst, Gartner's report on the they keep evaluating all the different players in the EM market on the scale of ability to execute and completeness of vision. And you could see that IBM Maximo is well ahead in the leaders Magic Quadrant. Couple of times Infor has shared the quadrant, whereas in last 15 years, 12 years, IBM Maximo has been all alone in this Magic Leaders Quadrant. Simple reason is because of very specific few reasons why Maximo is well ahead when it comes to the asset management. And I just want to kind of summarize those points. So first is having a complete vision end to end, right from to define the visibility, define the assets, defining the basic processes, defining the workflows, making the right analytics available for the business users. First and foremost, because before you onboard the journey of APM or RCM, you got to have the right platform. If you miss the right platform, possibly you would stuck either on the analytics, you would stuck on IoT or maybe health safety or planning and scheduling, or so there are many areas where you may get stuck if you start on a weaker platform on asset management, and that is where IBM Maximo, that is one of the key differentiator of IBM Maximo. The second is the faster time to deployment. It's kind of by its easy to deploy, quick to go live with your basic processes, ready to use. Lot of templates are made available. Equipment agnostics. irrespective of what kind of asset classes we have to deal, because it has been built to support a variety of asset classes, whether it are the production assets or facility assets, IT assets, underground assets, above ground assets, a variety of asset classes, pump, filter, valve, regulator, all kind of the things can be managed. And that is the reason why we have customers using IBM Maximo to manage on one side the large aircrafts, to ships, to metros, to rails. To other side, you see the customers in the manufacturing, from pharmaceuticals to pharmaceutical life sciences to automobiles, to a variety of in manufacturing domain, energy and utilities, transformers, a variety of asset classes can be managed, defined in this. Maximo Industry Solution really takes the capabilities to next level, where we offer industry specific capabilities, functional capabilities in the solution. For example, when we have got Maximo for transportation, we are going all the way to the axle, wheel and damper level of the asset class. And that's the reason of an IBM investing in bringing the advanced analytics capabilities, the ML algorithms, making it available on cloud, really differentiating IBM Maximo. Another very, very key differentiator for Maximo is ease of use. End of the day, this EM systems are primarily for the field staff, the people likes of the technicians or supervisor who are on the ground. They need simple to use systems with minimal clicks. They should be allowed to do their work, day-to-day work. And these guys are not the IT savvy guys, where a complex, if they are from IT, they can possibly manage the complex systems with multiple clicks, but technicians, field supervisors really need simple UIs, minimal clicks kind of the system, and that's where Maximo brings to the table and gets differentiated. Power of integration, last but not the least, end of the day, integration with the ERP, CRM, the financial systems, and right side on with the technical system. The powerful Maximo integration engine helps to integrate Maximo with the other system. So with this, really the Maximo, and we are very happy to kind of take you through with the going forward. We can have you can request for deep dive workshops where we can help identify the specific use cases, create business case, and get you onboarded on this journey. So we will open up for the questions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pankaj, and thank you, Vinod, for such insights. Really thoughtful insights, I must say that. So thank you so much once again. So here we get into that Q&A session. I would request our audience that if they have any question, they can raise their hands, or they can put their questions in the chat window. And for that, you have to go to Communicate tab and click Audio and enable your headphones so that we can hear you, and we will unmute you from our side. Okay. So Pankaj, I just wanted to understand from you that if somebody already has an ERP system in place, what's the business case to go with IBM Maximo? If you can just throw some light on that.
Right, and we have seen this happening, especially in our region, our geography, where most of the customers have started their asset management journey through the ERP ways. They would have their asset registries defined and some of the basic processes as part of the, because most of the ERPs do offer asset management capabilities. But what we have observed is when it comes to the planning and scheduling, when it comes to the mobility, health safety related things, IoT use cases, they are stuck. They are stuck in the sense either the existing ERPs do not have a clear roadmap how they can support, or they end up relying on the niche offerings, other third-party products to support them on planning, scheduling, or mobility. Most of the ERPs have fragmented mobility strategy. They have hardly they hardly offer capabilities around health, safety, and environment, HSE aspects. So analytics is another area because ERPs are built primarily from the financials point of view. Yes, over the period they have built the asset management capabilities. What we can do is all these 5 white spaces, including analytics, planning, scheduling, mobility, IoT, HSE, RCM, and APM, right? If you see that these are the white spaces, you are not able to move on any one of these 7 areas, we could help taking you on board.
Okay, that's really great to know. So, talking about the cloud. So, is IBM Maximo available on cloud in software as a service option also?
Yes, that's what I covered. Yes, it is available as software as a service. And what we have seen over the last 3-4 years, and this adoption is also increasing within our country also, because it brings, so IBM Maximo, we offer Maximo as a SaaS. We offer it as a dedicated, 2 variants we offer. One is as a dedicated, which means it's a dedicated instance for our customers in OPEX model. They pay as they go, right? And second is in the public SaaS. Now, public SaaS is something for very small, medium-sized organization who have intent. They want to go with the best-in-class asset management, but they really want to buy some time. They want to start small to get settled down with their business process. So we have got 2 variants available, and many of our existing customer of Maximo in India who have been using Maximo on premises, they are slowly now moving to cloud as well. So we see this trend in this country also.
Great. So, Pankaj, here is another interesting thing, which is like very important for me also. I would like to know the answer. It's like, do you have in-built mobility option to access Maximo via handheld devices? And does it support offline mode?
Yes, absolutely. And we call it as Maximo Anywhere. It supports both online and offline mode. Typically, when the field staff is out in the field and they need to access the system, and if connectivity is a challenge, we offer this solution, which is kind of app-based. Multiple apps, 10+ apps are offered, and these apps are very persona-based app. So, app for supervisor, for execute, for technician, for inspection, for store manager. We have got 10+ apps available. It helps also to do the physical reconciliation of the inventories, physical count check. So Maximo Anywhere available, and it also supports variety of operating system, including iOS, Android, and Windows.
Okay, that's really wonderful for us. Okay, Vinod, would you like to add something to whatever Pankaj has said? Vinod, are you there?
Vinod,
I lost you in between.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I'm saying that would you like to add something? I have another question for you, Vinod. Anyways, this question comes live.
This is breaking.
Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Vinod, if you can just throw light at how do you manage safety and health procedures in Maximo?
Yeah, so there is an application specifically designed for health and safety related part to do the risk assessments, to manage the licenses or work permits for these technicians, and also conduct the inspections, health inspections. And when there are deviations, you can initiate a standard operating procedures. So which is all this entire process is integrated. So because the inputs from HSC will directly flow into, and when a particular asset is managed or maintained in the system. So that becomes a comprehensive, because we are not looking at health and safety as an outside. Normally, if you really look at it, all the maintenance team, the health and safety officials never use any system. They rely on their own team, and they work in a disconnected way. So it becomes one integrated the application for the user from the maintenance perspective and reliability perspective.
Okay, that's really great. Vinod, another interesting question for you. It's which software solution has the highest market share of EAM market?
Yeah, so during the session Pankaj covered, right, where we are talking about 6,000 customers who are especially which is focused on asset management and using, and 70% of those customers are SAP or Oracle or JD Edwards customers. So that says saying that irrespective of what application they use, the leading companies and the people who focus on optimizing the asset performance really look for an application like Maximo or Maximo Asset Performance Management Solutions. So we are the market leaders, and if you really look at the analyst report for last 20 years or so, we are in the leadership quadrant all along. Maybe a couple of times SAP or Info has come into picture, but that's so rest of the players either remain in niche players or visionaries. So we are consistently there, and that's how we gain leadership across industry verticals, not just one industry.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vinod. Naveen, is there any other question which we haven't covered so far? Okay, that is quite excellent educative webinar. It's coming from Mr. Sethi. Thank you, Mr. Sethi. And thank you, Vinod and Pankaj, for joining us. Can we have Vinod for your final word first? Your final word on IBM Maximo?
Yeah. So first of all, let me thank all of you for patiently listening last 1 hour, and apologies for the delay in starting. But see, it's very important because what we see when people implement ERP, they say yes, we are using an asset management solution, but to an extent only to capture a cost or a work order has been issued outside the organization, or they procure a material, something related to the asset management. So people need to look at more holistically, and the ROI is very great. A lot of companies achieve an ROI in less than 3 to 4 years because the visibility and the savings which it brings. If you adopt a comprehensive approach, the savings are phenomenal. So ROI is around 3 to 4 years. That's the norm. People who adopt the asset management solutions.
Pankaj, let me just hear from you your final word.
Right, and I just want to add it, being this asset management as a subject, it's not just to kind of look at from a day-to-day activity point of view, but rather when the world is heading towards the RCM and the APM to ensure the long-term health of the assets, which possibly several generations passes through during the asset life cycle. Okay, it's important to have the right platform, right the asset strategy defined. Many of the assets are in the public domain, public health, safety, and all aspects comes into consideration, apart from the pure economic aspects, right? So have the holistic view of the things, and we are happy to be part of your journey around enterprise asset management. Okay, and we could possibly look at the things and coexist with, and ensuring that whatever have been your existing investment, we don't we kind of take you from there to the next level of the asset maturity.
That's really great. Thank you, Vinod. Thank you, Pankaj, for such an exciting and interesting session around IBM Maximo. And thank you, all of you, for joining us. On behalf of the Economic Times, I would like to thank all the participants for joining this webinar. Once you log off, automatically a window will open to capture your feedback. Your feedback is very important for us. Please fill in as detailed as possible. Thank you again for joining the Economic Times live webinar powered by IBM.